Hi, this is Randy Pertler. Welcome back. Thank God and praise God for today and every day. Listen, if you haven't already subscribed, please click on the little subscribe icon there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, if you hit the little bell icon, that way you'll get alerted to whenever I post a new video like this one. So today what I want to talk to you about is real estate broker versus real estate investor. A lot of people ask me about that, what the differences are. Should you be both? Should you be one or the other? So let's explore that a little bit, the pros, the cons. First of all, to give you a little background and my perspective, is I was a real estate investor for many, many, many years. I only recently became a real estate broker. So I have my reasons for it that I'll share later. So now let's look at the two things. One, what's a real estate investor? So a real estate investor is what we call a transactional engineer. Transactional engineer basically looks at three components and gets through and executes three areas of that transaction. The first one is finding the property or acquisition. So acquisition is step number one. Step number two is funding. So funding the transaction, that's important to be able to complete. And then the third is called an exit strategy. Now don't be confused by that term, exit strategy. You're not always selling the property, although that is one exit strategy, is to flip it, to sell it for a profit quickly. Another exit strategy could be to wholesale it, again, selling it quickly or signing that contract quickly. But also renting it out by the year, renting it out by the month, renting it out by the day, those are all considered exit strategies. So that's what a real estate investor is in a nutshell. Now, what's a real estate broker? So a real estate broker is trained and educated and licensed to represent somebody else. It's a agent-client relationship that they have to understand and they have to execute. What does that mean? It means that they're not personally involved in the acquisition of the property and the funding of the property or the exit strategy of the property, but they're representing somebody that is involved. They are the agent and their client is the buyer or their client is the seller. So it gives great value. There's great value to that in real estate, but it's a totally different function. So the question then comes, well, should you be both? Well, I wasn't both for a long, long time. I recently decided to be both, and here's a couple reasons why. First of all, in the state of Illinois, they changed the law that dictated wholesaling. Recently, they changed it so that you could only assign one contract, wholesale contract. You could only do one of those per 12-month period without a real estate broker's license. So that was one reason. Number two is I wanted not to just be self-employed as a broker. I wanted to build a team, and I wanted to be a business owner and not just self-employed. Well, I found a company that basically has the model that I was going to design and develop myself, and I don't have to do all of that work and training and the infrastructure. It's all done for me and allows me to build a team and override the commissions on that team, just like a managing broker, just like owning your own brokerage without having to own your own brokerage. So it allows anybody, even if they're just starting in real estate, they can already start to build a team and build a business instead of just being self-employed. So that's another reason why I became a real estate broker. Now, some people get concerned about, well, if you're a real estate broker, you've got to disclose. You've got to disclose to the people you're working with the buyer, with the seller. Big deal. Disclosure's nothing. It's not like I'd be hiding anything from them anyway, right? So disclosure could be nothing more than I'm meeting with a homeowner. I'm interested in buying it as an investor, but because I'm a broker, the conversation at the beginning of my introduction is just like one more sentence. Hi, my name's Randy Pertler. I'm a real estate investor. I'd love to look at your house to see if I'd like to buy it, see if it fits with my portfolio. Oh, and by the way, I need to let you know I'm also a licensed real estate broker. That's it. That's the disclosure. All right. So I think the judge, the legal system's worried about you taking advantage of that homeowner, and you disclosing that you are a real estate broker kind of gives them notice that you have been trained in this area. But as a real estate investor, I was trained anyway, so it doesn't really matter on the disclosure. And you're not going to do anything dishonest or unethical, at least I hope you're not. Doesn't matter if you're a broker or not. So the other reason, there's no reason not to do it. If someone says, well, there's got to be some reason why every investor is not a broker. Well, one is the cost, okay? So you got to get licensed, you got to go through the classes, you got to pass your tests. And then there's, maintenance of that license and being on the MLS and paying dues and so forth. So yeah, there's the expense. The other thing I think people are worried about is they're looking for this smoking great wholesale deal where they're going to get something under contract for $200,000 and assign it for $250,000. Now that's possible. And if you do, number one, you could get yourself in trouble even without a license. And certainly if you had a license, you're probably more susceptible to legal action in that. So you can still wholesale properties and you can do as many as you want here in the state of Illinois. However, you want to be reasonable on that wholesale fee. And it needs to be pretty much in line with what you'd make as a broker. Even if you got both ends of the commission, let's say that's 5, 6, 7%. If you're making 5, 6, 7%, so if it's $200,000 property, you add, let's say, 7%, that's $14,000. That's a pretty good payday to assign a contract. So whether or not your managing broker allows wholesaling is going to be entirely up to that managing broker, their office policies, and it's going to be them looking at whether or not they want to be exposed and have that liability and that exposure within their office. So I hope that answered and cleared up some things for you. And if you'd like and are considering being a real estate broker, I would love for you to call me and we could talk about joining our team. We're building our team not just locally but also nationally and soon to be internationally, I hope. So I'd love to talk to you. Reach out to me. My phone number, my email address should be right down here at the bottom. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe and also the notification icon, which is the little bell. And so you'll get notified when I post new videos like this. So I hope you and your family have just a blessed day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.